and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've been enjoying the geography series over here on my channel. And yeah, I hope it's been really useful for you. I wanted to come on today and tell you what I did to get an A at A-level in A-level geography. That was a lot of A's, I apologise. Yeah, I just wanted to come on and essentially give you my tips on how to get an A in A-level geography, because I appreciate it's not easy. I did the Edexcel specification, this one, so I did tectonics, glaciation, regeneration, globalisation and a couple more, but I've forgotten them. So I did my A-levels in 2019, so I was actually the last year of A-levels that sat them, because, you know, last year was a wipeout and this year is in-class teaching or assessments or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, I wanted to give you my tips on how I got an A in A-level geography, whether you're sitting your exams or whether you're just doing your teacher assessment exam things. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a bit of a hand and yeah, just give you some of my tips on how I got an A in A-level geography, and I hope these can help you too. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this video. Please do subscribe down below for more content from me, geography related lifestyle videos, a bit about my faith and weekly vlogs. So yeah, please subscribe down below. I make them every week. I upload 3 times a week, and yeah, I just want to help as many people as possible with this channel. So let's just get straight on into this video. So during my A-levels I studied geography, history and politics. They're all fairly similar subjects. There's a lot of overlap between them, which I think worked in my benefit, because when I was revising like politics, for example, I was also revising a bit of superpowers, so it did make things a little bit easier for me, but even so it was still not fun. So I had this absolutely huge ring binder thing for all my revision notes. So this is all my A-level revision notes. Yes, I finished my A-levels 2 years ago and I still have this. It's my pride and joy. It's absolutely huge. And yeah, I just wanted to talk through what I did. I also bought this textbook. I didn't buy the other one until I went to university, just because, you know, I found it useful at uni as well. These textbooks are so useful. And I'll just show you what I did. As a side note, all my revision guide things are linked in the description below, so if you want any of these revision notes that I made myself, obviously I've not done all the topics because I didn't study them all, but you're welcome to go and download them if you want. So let's start with tectonics, for example, because I'm 90% sure everybody does tectonics. So this is what I did. This is my tectonics revision guide. So I was making notes from this textbook in my class, in my lessons, and made this. So this is the entire tectonics unit in not that many pages really. So I printed this out, I made it pretty, as you can see. I did the main inquiry question in purple, the topic for that page. So you know how in this book, for example, there's the topic on 1.1, which is natural hazards and disasters. So I'd put this at the top of my page. Not that I can show you because this is something completely different. These were my class notes and I added my textbook notes into it. And yeah, so I printed these out in inquiry questions. So as you can see, this is EQ1, EQ2 is a bit further around here in purple, and then the other one's in here somewhere. So I used the graphics from the textbook as well. And then to revise, I went through and I read all of this and highlighted the important parts as my first step in revision. Making this was a task in itself, but I did this over the 2 years of A-levels. Most of them anyway. I didn't do this one or the structure of the atmosphere one, the climate one, during my A-levels, like when I was actually in lessons, so I had to go and make these really quickly at the end of the year, but you don't have to do that. You can just use mine if you want. They're in the description. So that was my first point of call. Make the notes, read through, highlight. Then, so obviously climate isn't a topic in the Edexcel specification. I'm not 100% sure about OCR, AQA, Pearson, whatever the rest of them are. But I found that if I was annotating things, it made a lot more sense in my head. So I made this. This was to help me understand the structure of the atmosphere, global circulation, that kind of thing. General circulation of the atmosphere. So I made this. This is my climate one. So as you can see, this was printed, the circle, and this was printed, and then everything else was added on in pen afterwards. This helped me to understand what it was. Even little diagrams like this, when the sun is in, there you go, when the sun is in different places. I just found this really useful, just to look through and everything was in one place if I didn't understand something, because this kind of underpins so much of the other topics. So I'd highly recommend downloading this. If you don't know what it goes on, it looks a bit like this. Feel free to hold it down and screenshot it if you can. These are just the notes I made on it. In the same way, like in the back there's more anticyclones and depressions as well. Same thing, I just drew it on to make it make more sense to me. So that was another point of call for me. The next tip I have for getting an A in A-level geography is make flashcards. So you know how you've got in the bottom of these books there's so many questions. So for example, on the tectonics one at the bottom here, exam style questions, for example, 2 pieces of evidence to show that climate has changed in the last 4,500 years, which is 4 marks. So I'd write that at the top of my flashcard and only bullet point some things that I would use, like pieces of evidence that I'd use to answer that question below. Not a full sentence, I'd just use the bullet points. And these were the things I was looking through before my exams because it's so practical. You can't ask too many questions. If I can find the list of questions that I had written down, I'll upload it to the Google Drive as well, but if not, I apologise. If you can make kind of flashcards of your possible exam questions and kind of learn the answers, what you'd say for each thing, it'll really help you going into the exam, because then when you get in, my biggest piece of advice for any big written exam, especially if you've got essays, go in and before you even start writing an essay, choose the questions you want to answer and bullet point all the notes that you'd make. So essentially write down the flashcard in the exam if that question comes up, so that you don't even have to think about remembering that once you start writing another question. So say I had one about regeneration, a regenerated waterfront for example, and I knew I'd use Liverpool as a case study and I could remember a load of facts at the start of my exam. I'd go in, bullet point all my Liverpool waterfront notes and then move on to a different question and then work chronologically through the paper. So yeah, that's kind of how I did it. Blurt everything down and then go back and start the paper properly, just because then you're not thinking about, oh, I've got to remember this, I've got to remember that. Or even while you're writing an essay and you think of another point, just dot it down next to it or on a scrap piece of paper if you have any, just because then it gets it out your mind and it's on paper so you don't have to worry about remembering it. Yeah, that was always my biggest piece of advice for exams as well. Write down as much as you can on scrap pieces of paper when you first get into the exam. I honestly think that's how I did well in my A-levels, because I got in, I wrote everything down and then didn't have to worry about remembering the stuff that I needed to know because it was already on paper. And you are allowed to do that. You might want to cross it out at the end so that it doesn't get marked, but it doesn't really matter. Exam style questions on post-it notes or flashcards or whatever. Key terms on flashcards because they will come up. So whether it's like explain or describe or analyse, you need to know what each of those 3 things, like the command words and questions do. So write that on a flashcard. Also, like, what are they called? Yeah, key terms. So regeneration, what is it? Put it on a flashcard. Just so you know what it is, and if it comes up in the exam as a 1 mark question, what is this? You have an answer. In the same way, case studies, write them on a flashcard and get people to test you. So on one side put Indian Ocean Tsunami 2004 case study, on the other side put all your facts. Do it with your parents, be like, okay, here's the Indian Ocean Tsunami. What's on the back of this flashcard? What are the facts you need to know? The more active recall you do, the better. And then finally my second to last piece of advice is blurting. So you might not have heard of this before. If you read one page, one section in this book, for example. So here, Glaciated Landscapes, the Lake District. This is actually going out on tonight as I'm filming this. So I'd read through this page and these pages because they're all the same topic. Get a post-it note, put your book away, have 5 minutes to write as much as you can remember down on the post-it note. Open the book, get a different colour pen, maybe red or green or something, and add all the facts you need to know that you've forgotten. Pin the post-it note up on your wall and do the same again the next day. This, I don't know what it's called, like forced recall or active recall or something like that, really helps to solidify what you know into your mind. So yeah, my tips are: make all your notes early, super early and clear. Make flashcards galore. If they don't help you, I don't know what else. Maybe like a Quizlet or something like that. Something that you can be kind of doing on the go. And then blurting, post-it notes, quick, fast recall. This is something you can do on your own, but it's really useful. And then also in your free time, you don't have to switch off from geography. So I know you will have other subjects, but in your free time or relaxing time, why not watch something geography related? It doesn't have to be I'm watching someone's A-level revision videos. I mean, I have loads on my channel. If you want to go binge watch them, go ahead. But maybe like a documentary about climate change that's not specifically related, but when it's being said to you and you're watching something, it's so much easier to remember, I think. So in your free time, kind of fill that up with not revision, but exam relevant material. But also get some rest. Don't overwork yourself. You need sleep. The best thing I ever did before an exam was go to the gym. On the morning of an exam, I never revised because I knew it would stress me out. And I know that doesn't work for everyone. So if I had an exam at 1:30 in the afternoon, I'd wake up about 10, go to the gym for an hour at 11, come into school, have lunch and chill for half an hour, maybe go and chat to a teacher and just be like, just talk to me, I'm bored. But because then all my knowledge is then further in my brain, like in my long-term memory rather than short-term, and then I don't go into the exam stressed out because I need to remember all the stuff here, I can think about the stuff at the back. It really helped. Go into an exam calm if you can. Yeah, the more worked up you are, it's just a recipe for disaster, I'm afraid. Try and make yourself as calm as possible. If you're Christian, pray before an exam. I think a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm praying for you before an exam. But if you're Christian, you have that and you know that God does answer prayer. And like, I'm a living example of, I was worried about doing my GCSEs and A-levels because, you know, anxiety, woohoo! But I stayed in every single one of my exams. Like, God got me through that. And I know if you're not a Christian, that might seem a bit like, what do you think you're talking about? But I believe that God has like a massive influence in my life. And anyway, yes, I think they're my tips. Make your notes clearly. Flashcards galore, blurting, and fill your spare time with non-specification related but exam related content. Yeah, just fill your mind with geography, but also give some time to your other subjects, but obviously geography is the best, you know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful. As I said, all my revision notes that I did make are down on a link in the description. Feel free to download them, do whatever you want. And please share my videos with a friend if you do so, or leave me a comment or something. I really want these to reach as many people as possible. If you're a geography teacher or a student or whatever, share this with your class, share this with your teacher. Yeah, I hope that was useful. And if it was, please do subscribe down below and I will see you soon. I have the glaciation series starting on Monday for you guys. Globalisation series, so this is a compulsory topic in the EdXL specification, so I really hope it's useful for you. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say, so thank you so much for watching and I will see you soon. Bye guys.